father. Sit her down, Mr. Sigmund. Just put her down.
You ain't never working.
Your Honor.
So who works in this family?
Nobody. She don't work. She ain't never worked.
I get state assistance. At the end of the day,
No.
you are the man and you living in my house and you need to work or leave.
She was pregnant. Until she was 8.5 months pregnant. And he calls her and says, come down and see me.
Okay,
so
me and
she
my
goes
mom,
down and sees him at 100-degree weather. She's 8.5 months pregnant.
Tell the court, what has this 6 months been like?
I've been throwing up every day. I have anxiety.
You, Junior, because of the fact that your mama and her boyfriend told me to stop coming to their house.
Case 1, Miss Lindsay is a fiery grandmother who's had enough of the drama surrounding her daughter Crystal. She doesn't mince words, directly accusing Mr. Word of manipulating Crystal and keeping her from even speaking to her own mother unless he was out with friends.
You're sick and tired of 2 men whom you believe are using your grandson as an excuse to walk in and out of your daughter's life. Now, you're here today along with your daughter Crystal to learn which of them fathered Austin.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Word, you claim you want to be in Austin's life, but you say you're unsure you're his biological father.
Yes.
Crystal steps in to confirm that she and Mr. Word were romantically involved. She also confesses to having relations with another man during the same time. She insists both men were aware of the situation.
Only could talk to her.
She talked to
when
her
he
daughter
was out
every
with his
day,
friends.
Your Honor.
When he was out with his friends.
She talked to her daughter every day. She only stay a week at my house, and then she'll go home to her house.
No, when they first got together, he manipulated her and told her, "Oh, your mom is only telling you stuff about me because she don't want you to be with me."
Yes, you are jealous.
Yada yada.
Miss Lindsay doesn't stop there. She recalls a disturbing incident where Mr. Word left Crystal, heavily pregnant, outside in intense heat for hours. Even worse, he allegedly took her coat and shoes to prevent her from leaving.
I go to work every day.
No, Your Honor.
I try my best to support. Support Austin as much as I can, Your Honor. And you can ask Crystal that.
Your Honor,
on Halloween.
I was living with him at the time that I got pregnant. I was bouncing back from his house to my house. I would stay there with him for a week, and then I'd go home for a week.
That's exactly what he said. Okay, so we agree on that point.
Yeah.
Enter Mr. Jones, the second man possibly involved. He admits to being in a relationship with Crystal, but swears he had no idea she was seeing anyone else. Grandma Lindsay isn't buying his story and makes it clear she thinks Mr. Jones is no better than Mr. Word.
Said you would be there. You were
We planned to have him. We planned to. I was on birth control, and I got off of birth control because we both agreed that we wanted to have a kid together and we wanted to start a family together.
That's true.
All right, so when did you find out that there could be someone else?
After the baby was born.
Judge Lake cuts through the emotions and makes it clear that the real issue is identifying baby Austin's father. Lindsay demands accountability. She wants whoever the father is to show up, be responsible, and play a meaningful role in the child's life.
You were living with this doubt.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you still bond with Austin?
I tried my best to, Your Honor, as much as I could.
Your Honor, in the 2 years that little boy
I took care of her when she was pregnant.
You took care of her when she was pregnant?
Until she was
8.5 months pregnant. And he calls her and says, come down and see me.
Okay,
so
me
she
and my
goes
mom,
down and sees him at 100-degree weather. She's 8.5 months pregnant.
Finally, the tension peaks as the DNA test results are revealed. But just as the truth is about to be announced, Mr. Word walks out of the courtroom. His sudden departure leaves everyone stunned, yet the court presses on to deliver justice for young Austin.
Mr. Word, you are the father. Oh, he's leaving. There is a problem because I'm not sure, Ms. Lindsay's daughter, if you are standing up for yourself the way that you should in relationships.
Case 2, Miss St. James believed she had always shared a special bond with her father being his little girl for 33 years. But just half a year ago, during a heated argument, he stunned her by saying, "You're not my daughter."
St. James, you claim for the first 33 years of your life, you were a daddy's girl. But just 6 months ago, after an argument, your father dropped a bomb on you and said, "You are not my daughter." You and your brother have opened a case to prove paternity today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
She explains how she poured her heart out in a letter, asking why he had distanced himself from her and her children's lives. What she got in return was a heartbreaking confession he didn't believe she was his biological daughter, something she had never suspected.
What happened 6 months ago?
I wrote my dad a letter right before Christmas, a couple weeks before Christmas, just telling him how I felt about him not being in his grandchildren's lives and how he's not being the father that we need since we lost our mother at a young age. And that was his response, is the reason why.
Mr. Esau confesses that he had long harbored doubts about Miss St. James's paternity. For over 3 decades, he kept this secret to himself, unsure of how or when to speak up. The emotional burden of such a revelation was immense for her.
What happened, Mr. Esau? How did this all start?
It's something that I've always wanted to talk to her about and tell her, you know, and it just never was the right time.
Is it your testimony that for 33 years you have known that Miss St. James was not your biological daughter?
Correct. Yes, Your Honor.
Miss St. James opens up about the toll the last 6 months have taken on her. The stress, sleepless nights, weight loss, and the added responsibility of caring for her autistic son have pushed her to the edge. Her suffering is raw and visible.
Tell the court, what has this 6 months been like?
I've been throwing up every day. I have anxiety. I have stress. I have an autistic son that I'm trying to raise. I've been just, ever since, I can't eat. I'm losing weight. I'm just torn apart. He's just trying to kill me, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna die.
Judge Lake digs into the history of the relationship between Mr. Esau and Miss St. James's mother. They began dating at a young age and eventually married, even though doubts about paternity lingered early on. This only adds more layers to the tangled situation.
From the beginning, she transferred into the school that I was going to. I seen her that morning, and you know, she looked good. So I'm like, well, you know, everybody's kind of like, wow, who's that? And I asked her if she wanted to go to the party, and she said yes. Picked her up, and you know, we, you know, that's when I first had sex, and it just kind of went on from there.
Both Miss St. James's mother and grandmother had previously discussed the possible conception timeline, feeding those old uncertainties. Yet, Mr. Esau still played the role of a father for decades, which makes the current conflict deeply painful for everyone involved.
Her mom found out she was pregnant. Were you told?
She told me yes.
And so, take me back to that time.
Basically, she told me she was pregnant, and I'm like, okay. You know, you're 18, you're like, okay, like, wow. You know, you don't really know how to really react, but I was like, okay, wow, she's pregnant. And it wasn't until the doctor told her how far along she was, and doing the math, it was, you know, before me.
Her brother KJ steps in to share how the news has shaken their family. He suggests that the accusation may have stemmed from old resentments, but affirms he always believed Miss St. James to be his full sister.
Through my whole life, I thought that Jasmine was my sister. We were the only ones that came from my mom and him, so that's all I've known, him being my father. So to get this news like this is just, you know, it's just it's hurting as far as, you know, the allegations put upon my mother.
Miss St. James remembers a confusing moment from 2009, a cryptic phone call where her father first hinted at not being her biological parent. Though he later backtracked, that single call planted a seed of doubt that grew over time into today's full-blown crisis.
That Mr. Esau, your father, is not your sister's biological father.
Well, my dad did call me one time in 2009. He had a little liquor in him, and he was crying, and he said that Jasmine might not be his.
And what did you say?
I said, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Called him back and told him.
As the courtroom holds its breath, Judge Lake gets ready to reveal the DNA results. Miss St. James braces for the outcome, desperate for clarity and healing. Months of emotional agony come down to this single pivotal moment of truth.
Mr. Esau.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are not the father.
Can I give her a hug?
That's better. I can accept it.
And I'm sorry I waited so long. I mean, I've always taken responsibility for that talking to her, of not telling her. That was her right to know. And I should have told her, she should have been told a long time ago, not when she's 33 years old.
Case 3, Miss Dandridge's journey is filled with emotion and hope as she steps into court believing she may have finally located her biological father. With a name Joseph Lester Sigmund, she's prepared to meet him for the very first time.
To determine if you finally found your biological father.
Yes, ma'am.
You believe is that man, though you've never laid eyes on him before.
Yes, ma'am.
She recounts discovering adoption documents as a young girl, a revelation that shattered what she believed about her family. Till that moment, she assumed her sister's father was hers too, but her mother's silence only deepened the confusion and heartache.
No, ma'am, I didn't. I was raised to believe that my sister's dad was my dad. I was like around 9 or 12. I was old enough to know how to read. When I found my dad wasn't my dad that I believed was my dad.
You found adoption papers indicating that the man you thought was your father had in fact adopted you.
Yes, ma'am.
Driven by the need for answers, Ms. Dandridge turned to Facebook a few months ago, posting about her search. Her mother reacted harshly, but eventually revealed the name Joseph Lester Sigmund.
Roughly 3 months ago, I posted on Facebook. This status may hurt some people's feelings, but I really want to know who my dad is. And my mom, she got on there and told me that I was a liar and that I never asked who my dad was and just threw his name at me. And then after she gave me that name, she told me,
so you got a name?
Yes.
Through social media, she met a woman named Sabrina who helped trace Mr. Sigmund's relatives. Though the initial response from his family was dismissive, a surprising call from a North Carolina number changed everything. It was Joseph Sigmund.
And messaged me names or family members that could have been related to Joseph Sigmund. A week into my search, a lady named Sabrina messaged me and she says, here, I found his mom and his brother. You should call them to see if that's really who it is.
Emotions run high as Mr. Sigmund walks into the courtroom, seeing Al, Miss Dandridge, for the first time. He expresses disbelief, saying he was once told he couldn't have children. He also recounts a relationship he had with her mother in Florida.
Mr. Sigmund, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Oh, that's beautiful.
I cannot believe you're standing in front of my face.
Can you describe for the court your initial reaction?
I was in shock because I was told when I was younger I was sterile. I couldn't have kids.
Mr. Sigmund reveals he left Florida due to legal issues and never knew about a possible child. Though he questions the paternity, wondering if Miss Dandridge's mother had other partners, Miss Dandridge holds on to hope that he's truly her father.
So did you ever know that her mother was pregnant?
No, I did not have a clue until she called me and told me. I have doubts because I was told I was sterile. You know, plus sometimes during the weekends she went to her mother's on the weekends.
He expresses something she's longed to hear. He's open to the possibility and sees hope in this new bond. He mentions feeling a resemblance and the desire to finally have a child of his own. Tension builds as they prepare for the DNA result.
Mr. Sigmund, what are you hoping for today?
I've never had nothing my whole life. I've never been married.
Your new hope?
Yeah, we're just alike. She looks like my sister. When I was younger, she looks like one of my nieces. She's got my cheekbones, my jaw face, she got my eyes.
Both Miss Dandridge and Mr. Sigmund brace themselves as Judge Lake prepares to announce the truth. Tears are already forming as they sit quietly, wondering if this moment will bring the answers Miss Dandridge has waited for her entire life.
Wait any longer. Let's go to the results. Jerome, the results, please. Thank you. I know this will be very emotional for you both either way. If you'd like to sit down, Miss Dandridge. All right. DNA Diagnostics has prepared these results, and they are as follows.
The results are read. Silence fills the courtroom. What happens next will change lives, either affirming a long-lost connection or confirming an even deeper heartbreak. No matter the outcome, this emotional journey has reached its most pivotal point.
Sigmund, you are not her father. Sit her down, Mr. Sigmund. Just put her down.
There's no way I've come through too much. He was supposed to be my dad.
Case 4, Mr. Harper claims his financial situation has collapsed because he's been paying child support for a child who might not even be his. If what he says is true, it's a devastating scenario, spending thousands on a child while carrying the weight of doubt.
Mr. Harper, you say you are in financial shambles because you've been stuck paying support for a child you know is not yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you claim previous courts have denied your request for DNA testing because you allegedly signed an acknowledgement of paternity.
Yes, Your Honor.
He insists that he never signed the paternity acknowledgement papers that legally bound him to pay support. Previous courts rejected his request for a DNA test, but now he brings what he believes is solid proof that his signature was forged.
You now claim to have evidence to prove you never signed that document.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Harper, you and your son, Mac Jr., claim Mr. Harper is denying paternity as an excuse for being a deadbeat father.
Yes, Your Honor.
On the other side, Miss Harper and her son, Mac Jr., argue that Mr. Harper is only denying paternity to escape his responsibilities. They claim he's not a victim, but rather an absent father using legal loopholes to avoid doing the right thing.
Right, so Mr. Harper, Sr., explain to me, how have you been affected by all of this?
Your Honor, I have been affected by this by first ending up in jail for 21 days.
Mr. Harper tells the court he was even jailed for 21 days over just $500 in unpaid child support. He says the arrest came as a complete surprise Legacy hadn't received any notice or warning that payments were due. That experience shook him to his core.
You spent 21 days in jail because of failure to pay support, or you gotten behind?
Yes, I had gotten behind in my child support. The police came to my house one day, knocked on my door, and told me that I was behind in child support. At that time, I didn't even know I was supposed to be paying child support.
Following his release, he's tried to catch up on payments, but the burden has been overwhelming. He's barely making ends meet and claims he's being punished for something he never agreed to in the first place. The financial and emotional toll is clearly visible.
You never received a letter?
I never received a letter.
A notice?
Nothing, Your Honor. They came, locked me up. I went to court. They asked me if I could pay the money what I needed for court at that time, what they were saying that I was behind in.
How much did they say you were behind?
At that time, I think I might have been like $500 behind.
All right.
In child support.
Meanwhile, Miss Harper reveals a staggering claim. Mr. Harper owes over $24,000 in back child support for her son. With such a large amount at stake, it's understandable why tensions are running high, especially if Mr. Harper isn't the biological father.
Because when they sent me a letter, they told me he was $25,000 behind.
So you're saying you've gotten a letter that says now he's upwards of $25,000 behind in support?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's either $23,000 or $25,000, somewhere like that.
His doubts, he says, aren't baseless. Friends and even family warned him that Miss Harper may have been unfaithful during their relationship. To make matters worse, someone allegedly told him over the phone that she had slept with a relative of his.
Outset Jr. is mine, all because of the fact that back when me and his mother Miss Myrtle were together, I have family and friends that told me that she had been messing around with other men behind my back. Whenever I would go to work.
Your Honor, that's not true. That's not true.
Judge Loring raises the issue of the signed paternity acknowledgement again. Ms. Harper says he signed it after she gave birth at home and brought the baby to the hospital. She insists he was there and signed voluntarily.
You say you didn't sign that?
No, Your Honor. Whenever I got out there to the hospital, after she had him, because she had him at home.
You had Mac Jr. at home, Miss Harper?
Yes, Your Honor, but Mr. Senior came to the hospital, took pictures.
Mr. Harper recalls visiting the hospital only after Miss Harper had already taken the baby for a post-delivery checkup. He claims she told him everything had already been handled and signed for, since they were married at the time.
See the baby after it was born?
I came there to the hospital to pick them up when they got ready to leave the hospital, because by being a home birth, when she got to the hospital, they checked the baby out. She called me like about 11 o'clock and was like, they're ready for us to come home. And so I was like, okay, I'll be over there after a while because I know I got to sign the birth certificate.
Mac Jr. shares his view, saying his father used to pick him up regularly but stopped all of a sudden. Mr. Harper counters that it wasn't by choice. He was blocked by Miss Harper and her new partner from continuing those visits. It's a tangled web of stories.
And he used to come pick me up when he was driving the cab. He used to come pick me up every weekend, and then all of a sudden he just stopped.
I stopped coming to get you, Junior, because of the fact that your mama and her boyfriend told me to stop coming to their house.
As the drama peaks, Judge Loring prepares to read the DNA results. This moment will finally bring clarity to years of uncertainty, accusations, and financial strain. With all that's been revealed, everyone in the courtroom braces for what could be a life-changing truth.
Mr. Harper Sr., you are his father.
All right.
Now, will you please step up and be a dad to your son?
Yes, I will, if he'll allow me. If he'll allow me to.
Case 5. You've always believed without a doubt that you are the biological father of Jaira Lever. You've provided love and support throughout her life, but now Miss Lever is adamantly denying your paternity. Today, you're counting on the DNA results to validate your belief, correct?
Always believed you were the biological father of the defendant's daughter, Jaira Lever. You have loved her and taken care of her, but now the defendant is denying you are Jaira's dad. You are hoping today's results prove your case. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Lever, you say you are positive the plaintiff is not your daughter's biological father and plan to prove it in court today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown enters the courtroom, a determined look in his eyes. The room quiets as he declares with conviction, "I am Jaira's father." His voice slicing through the silence, carrying both hope and desperation.
Fed her, bathed her, clothed her, taken her to her doctor's appointments. I mean, when Mom couldn't be there, I was there. And although she cheated, I know for a fact that Jaira is my daughter. She looks like all of my children.
And Ms. Lever, you say even though he loves your little girl, he is not her biological father?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Lever isn't backing down. She casts a cold stare across the courtroom, accusing Mr. Brown of being absent when it truly mattered. Where was he when she cried at night? She challenges, her words cutting deep as whispers ripple through the crowd.
Also, my ex was also dealing with the same crisis. And so during that time, we bonded and we kind of rekindled things. And that's the time in which Jaira was conceived.
April 2011, you were dealing with a sick family member.
Yes, ma'am.
And the next part of this exhibit says July 2011, what was going on?
My ex and I, we were intimate at the hospital during that time.
At the hospital?
I've always tried to be there, even if from a distance. Mr. Brown responds, visibly frustrated. He recalls sending birthday cards and small gifts attempts at staying involved that he claims were ignored or hidden from Jaira.
To pop fireworks with my nieces and nephews. Miss Lever and I were sitting out on the back watching them. One thing led to another. We ended up on the inside of the house by the back door on the floor. This was July 4th of 2011.
And you remember that specifically?
Yes, ma'am. She does too.
And Miss Lever?
Yes, ma'am. That
you say, but Miss Lever says she was having sex with her ex inside the hospital.
Ms. Lever rolls her eyes, her voice thick with sarcasm. Support in spirit doesn't tuck her in or help with school, she says firmly. The tension between them grows, and every eye in the courtroom is fixed on the emotional crossfire.
You object?
Yes, ma'am. This is a mess, but he is not her father, and I told him that from day one. This has been a mess, and I told Mr. Brown that he was not her father because, like, this is my ex, you know? And when I end up getting pregnant, I felt like it was my right to tell him so that he can move forward.
The judge asks for the birth certificate, and suddenly the case takes a turn. Miss Lever hints that not everything about Mr. Brown's story adds up. Her voice is calm, but her words carry weight, casting shadows on the narrative he's built.
Jaira in my relationship.
Are you on Genesis' birth certificate listed as father?
No.
I thought I was on Jaira, so I don't even know.
He ain't on neither one of them.
Do you have a copy of Genesis' birth certificate?
I'm not putting him on her. He can't financially do nothing for her. So what am I putting his name on there for?
And so wait a minute. As I look at this birth certificate, Genesis, Summer, Lyric, Brown, Lever.
And Jaira's supposed to be the opposite.
That's what you want.
Still, Mr. Brown doesn't falter. He admits he's not perfect, but insists his love for Jaira is real. Emotion chokes his voice as he pleads for understanding. Even the audience begins to feel the depth of his pain.
And she's screaming for you to leave.
You know when she screams for me to leave, Your Honor? When I'm not working.
You ain't never working.
Your Honor.
So who works in this family?
Nobody. She don't work. She ain't never worked.
I get state assistance.
At the end of the day, you are the man and you living in my house and you need to work or leave.
Then, the DNA results arrive, carried in with solemnity. Judge prepares to reveal the outcome, warning that what comes next will alter lives. Everyone leans forward, holding their breath as silence blankets the room.
You're gonna lose your standing. He won't answer your call.
He's a liar.
Listen, there is a valid point to what he's saying. However, if it is determined today that these are his biological children, then he can go back to your home state, petition so he can be added to the birth certificate as the father, and then you would have legal rights to see these children.
Judge opens the envelope, her gaze shifting from Mr. Brown to Miss Lever. Mr. Brown's hands tremble slightly, his entire world suspended in this single moment. In the case of Jaira, the judge begins, her voice echoing with finality.
Mr. Brown, you are the father. Mr. Brown, you are not the father.